Hey everyone, it's Kyle, Azora Hype. Today, I thought it would be really fun to talk about and make a video about my favorite Witcher short story from The Last Wish called The Lesser Evil. When Netflix announced that they were going to be adapting the Witcher short stories and novels into a show on Netflix, I was very excited. After covering Game of Thrones for 3 years on the channel, I knew that some people would feel the loss of such an awesome show with great characters and a compelling story. But I knew in my heart, being a reader of the Witcher books and as a huge fan of the games, that if the adaptation was done right, that this could be a great opportunity to fill that void. To be honest, I am a bit biased because I love every one of the short stories. And I believe that each one has a well-constructed theme and story. However, The Lesser Evil is the short story that has always resonated with me the most strongly. Not only does it introduce the audience to one of the main themes of the series, the one of destiny versus free will, but it shows all sides and perspectives of the ongoing conflict. The Lesser Evil serves as a great lens into the stories of Renfri and the wizard Stregobor and their intentions, but we also get to see the difficult choice that Geralt has to make and how Witchers often choose to remain neutral in issues of politics, magic, and prophecy. It can be argued that Stregobor is wrong for wanting to murder Renfri. However, from Stregobor's perspective, she is evil because she is born during an eclipse and connected to the Curse of the Black Sun, a prophecy in which a female born of magic will bring upon the end of the world. This connects to the question of, is it fundamentally wrong to take a life, and is it ethical? Stregobor asks Geralt to commit an unlawful act. However, Geralt has his own code of ethics, though it seems at times he is just working for money and providing a service to the people by killing monsters. But then we also have to ask the question of, is Renfri prophesied to be evil? Is her death preordained? And what degree of agency does she have in those things? Geralt is never convinced by Stregobor's story about the prophecy of the Black Sun. And it's clear early on that Geralt and Renfri have a lot more in common than Geralt and Stregobor. Neither Geralt or Renfri are raised by their parents for the most part. They are both treated like monsters, and their worldview is similar because their lives have been derailed. I do feel that the book version of this story highlighted the question of who is the real aggressor in this story a bit more strongly. But I do feel like the showrunners did a great job with the adaptation, choosing to make this the first short story adapted on the show. In the end, Geralt chooses humanity and makes a very human choice, choosing to kill Renfri, who is consumed by revenge. It's sad to see that in the end, her choices made this her destiny. The story also highlights the choice of duty versus ethics, and also Geralt's selflessness, and that sometimes humans can be the worst monsters. On a personal level, this story has affected me in a positive way. When I reread the story or write about it, or I put it in a video form like this for all of you to listen to, I go back and reflect on the decisions I've made in my life and if I was right or wrong. I reflect on the things that I've done in life and if I can be a better man, make better choices, if I can improve with my decision making, and if I can retain empathy and humanity during an incredibly difficult time in human history. Maybe that's why I reflect on this story more than the others, because it does show us that life is full of difficult choices. But one choice that wasn't difficult for me to make was starting up a new podcast during this pandemic with Aziz from History of Westeros and Mikhail from Vassals of Kingsgrave, called The Podcast of Surprise. It all really started off with a conversation with Aziz about our mutual passion for the Witcher books and the show. We knew that with the coming seasons of the show that more people would read the books and also play the games, increasing the demand for Witcher-related content. We had also discussed a few months ago that podcasts and videos serve as a form of escapism, and that if we could provide that and do it well, it would be worthwhile. I won't lie, this year has been very difficult for me as I've faced a lot of tough choices and challenges personally behind the scenes, and there was a couple of times where I really questioned what my destiny is and where the channel was going. It's ironic how I'm going through my own personal battle of destiny versus free will. But in the end, I choose the lesser of two evils, to not give up and to make the choice to continue making content that I'm passionate about and hopefully that you'll love as well. And while I didn't have to make as tough of a decision as Geralt, I empathize with him because of his sacrifices. So yeah, I hope that some of this resonated with all of you. This was something that I've been wanting to discuss for a while now on the channel, and I felt that this was an appropriate time and vessel to do so. I'm really excited and honestly feel reinvigorated and inspired to make new content for the channel. Well, if you're interested in checking out more Witcher content, last Friday, the podcast of Surprise actually dropped episode number 3 discussing the Lesser Evil. So if you're into podcasts and you love The Witcher, you can find our podcast on Anchor, which hosts iTunes, Spotify, and other great listening platforms. I'll put the link to the podcast of Surprise in the description of this video. Also, I've decided that since 5 months have passed since the release of The Witcher on Netflix, and since I have found newfound perspectives on all of these great stories, that I will be re-reviewing the season, diving more deeply into each episode, breaking down all of the symbolism, recurring themes, fairy tale influences, and much more. So be on the lookout for these reviews over the next 2 weeks as we break down Season 1 of The Witcher more deeply. Also, if you want to support the channel, you can do so by becoming a patron on Patreon. I'll be doing all sorts of awesome bonus Witcher content, Patreon-only polls, and previews for each upcoming Witcher video. So if you want to help the channel and toss a coin to your YouTuber, you can find the link to my Patreon in the description of this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.